Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Hello and welcome to where energy meets the divine. Today, before I go to the phone lines, I wanted to talk about the seventh chakra, the seventh layer of the auric field, and your skin. And right now in the United States, we're in summer. So we're getting a lot of sun and heat, most of us, on our skin, which UV light is not good for the skin. It's very true. If you're a young person, please don't spend a lot of time in UV light. Please don't wear suntan lotion. Of course, I'm from the generation we use that Hawaiian tropical oil, lay out for hours at the beach. Of course, the beach I hung out as a young person is famous with Sammamish Beach in Bellevue because Ted Bundy stole at least one young woman from that beach. So when I was young, we had to stop hitchhiking. I know, used to hitchhike back in the day, and actually hang out in groups. Could not ride our bikes anymore to the beach. So a lot changed in that era. But back to the real reason why I'm talking to you about skin is because, we don't want a lot of sun damage. It can lead to all kinds of problems, certainly, but also weaken the collagen, potentially lead to, skin cancers down the road. They don't happen right away. That's the interesting thing about skin. It just has so many cool layers and so many aspects of protection for your organs and tissues and bones below the surface of the skin. But unfortunately, UV light will break it down. And maybe not right now, but maybe 10 years from now, maybe 20 years from now, maybe 30 years from now, depending on how old you are, weird stuff can happen to your skin. Now, the skin, all of it, including hair follicles, all the way from the top of your head to the tip of your toes, is governed energetically by the seventh chakra, which happens to also be best friends with the seventh layer of the auric field. So the aura and the chakras, they are friends and they hang out and they share information with one another. The seventh vortex on top of the head, the chakra, is truly about your connection to God, spirit, source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, goddesses, whatever term gets you excited. Trees, who I think are directly aligned with God. I mean, everything really is, but, I don't think trees have an ego. So anyway, they're incredible. Very wise, magnificent creatures. Probably one of the reasons why I live in the Northwest and have my entire life. So if you have issues with your skin, no matter what it is, it doesn't matter. No matter what your logical mind says, oh no, it's because of this, or I'm aging, or I've got these allergies. From a logical perspective, of course, we can take that all into consideration, but there's always an energetic undercurrent that is truly responsible for whatever health issue is affecting your body. And one's connection to spirit or lack of connection to spirit could be the culprit. Is the culprit the underlying energetic cause for skin issues, psoriasis, eczema, you name it. It's from a lack of connection. So individuals who love spirituality and study it or have lived and breathed it all their life, if they start to have skin issues, it's because they have not driven deep enough into their potential of their connection to the universe, to creation. So I think that's critical and important. And whenever you discover something going on with your body, because that's a great messenger, think of it like a clipboard. Something weird goes in your body, it's the universe going, ding, ding, ding. Can we talk about this? It's not like ding, ding, ding. Oh my gosh, run to the doctor. Certainly you can always go to the doctor and have a checkup, right? Creation made everything. But when things start to happen in your in your physical form, it's really because you wanted to grow and change and have a different experience. And somehow you're not paying attention to the messages that are occurring in and around your life. You're unconscious to opportunities and significant importances of things that probably you need to change. So some people choose, because not everyone chooses to have health issues to get their attention. Some people, it's other things, relationships. It could be the amount of finances or lack of in their life. It could be career problems. There's a lot of options when you live in the physical realm in terms of how you can truly get the attention of another human being that could force them to look inward. So if you have a skin issue, because we're talking about skin today, the universe wants you to pay attention, ding, 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 to your relationship to creation, God, the universe. Even if you think you have a magnificent one, even if you meditate every day, it doesn't matter. Your logical mind might say, oh, but I already do all this. I do. It's not enough, or it's not authentic enough, or you're missing some critical aspect in your relationship to the divine. One of the important aspects in our relationship to the divine is learning to receive, feeling, hearing, seeing, experiencing the love of the universe towards yourself, because you are a divine, irreplaceable part of the magnificence that we all are. And that magnificence, when it connects with you, is extremely loving and appreciating and valuing. But here's a couple human tips, logical tips that could help the skin. A serum that's really effective, you can buy it in different ways, is niacinamide, which is a form of vitamin D. And you can buy it in topical serum and rub it on your skin. It works very fast. It heals all kinds of ailments. If you have really sensitive skin, maybe start on a patch, just use a small amount on a patch, maybe a patch that has a little bit of a challenge that you are curious about healing, and try it for a week if it doesn't bother you. And then you could apply it in more parts of your body. I use niacinamide from head to toe. It has made a dramatic change in my skin. In fact, I've stopped using it after a while. In the summer, because Washington State, we have temperatures in the 80s regularly this year in the summer. And although I use lots of sunscreen and hats and sit in shade, I still also do other things like go paddleboarding. And there you are out on the water with direct sunlight onto the water reflecting on you, right? So no matter how hard we try, especially during summer months, our skin is more exposed. So niacinamide is an incredible serum topical. Now, when I buy anything, a supplement or a serum, even food, not that you have to do anything that I do, I prefer to have the word organic in the title. For me, my body does better with the least amount of herbicides, pesticides, or whatnot. And so I look for the word organic. Now, not everything is going to be organic. That is the truth, but that could be a lovely, word that perhaps, especially things you're putting on your skin. I also like to buy things in glass bottles. We already have way too much plastic in our body. It's everywhere, right? Because plastic doesn't degrade fast enough at all. And humans have been putting a lot of it on top of the earth and in the oceans and in the sky for a really long period of time. So now humanity has microscopic pieces of plastic in their body, and I'm sure we'll adjust to it like all of creation. And of course, sometimes I buy things in plastic, and I may wrap things in plastic sometimes. But when I'm buying products for my body or that I'm going to ingest, I do the very best I can to buy glass. If it's offered in glass, I purchase it. Sometimes it's not offered. So if you're looking for niacinamide, maybe the word organic might pop up in your search, or a glass bottle. Or be nice if both were there, but one or the other is great. And if you can't find it, that's okay too. I don't want for humanity, because this isn't healthy for humanity, to be in fear. I have to have a glass bottle and it has to be organic. If you do that, you're going to lower the vibration. And in truth, and this is something we will collectively begin to live, maybe in my lifetime, maybe, where we stay out of fear. Because if you can stay out of fear, it kind of doesn't matter what you use. your body will do very well. But you might notice what you're attracted to. Ooh, this company looks delicious. And you may not know why, but as you raise your vibration and hold it, enjoy, and allow yourself to have lots of joyful experiences, you'll notice when in life, as you're having experiences traveling or purchasing things or having relationships, you'll notice that joy barometer, squeak up to higher realms outside of the normal human experience. And those are the things you want to follow. If I were looking at niacinamide and my energy went ding as I'm looking at a particular product, that's the one I would buy. That's me. That's the one I would buy. Now, on top of using topical, which I don't believe there's like a deadline, like some things when you take them, it's recommended that you only do it for a certain period of time. Niacinamide is recommended twice a day. I put it on once a day. I put it on first thing in the morning because a lot of niacinamide also has zinc in it, and then it protects your skin from the sun. A lot of new sunscreens or sunscreens that have been around for a while have zinc in them, which is really cool. And honestly, humanity has a low percentage of zinc. And in fact, if you've had long COVID or symptoms like COVID for a long period of time, or when you get sick, it lasts a long period of time and you have respiratory issues, increase your zinc. So if you're taking zinc, which I hope you are, and I would take it separately, also organic, probably not going to find a glass bottle, but if you do, ding, 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 I would take double. That's what I would do. Now, I'm not a naturopath. I'm not an herbologist. I was a registered nurse. I'm not licensed any longer as of a couple years ago. So remember that and always ask your doctor or your nurse practitioner or your naturopath or your herbologist, whoever you have, about supplement choices and other things that you might be taking. And pharmaceuticals can be affected by herbs. So that's always important to check. I think zinc is a fairly favorite supplement, but I'm not an expert. So you definitely want to ask an expert. Now, you can also take niacinamide internally. Now, the interesting thing about niacinamide is there will be a dosage recommended for skin. So that's something you could Google. Now, niacinamide, which is a B vitamin, it's one of the B vitamins, and it's one that people do need. If you take a lot of niacinamide, and some people take a lot to reduce the cholesterol in their body, it can be a little pancreatic irritating. So sometimes I think when people are taking supplements, they go, well, I'm just going to take double the strength. That's going to be better for me. Not with niacinamide. That is not better. If you're taking a dosage for cholesterol, cardiac reasons, you're probably taking it as prescribed by an allopathic or naturopathic physician, because in order to take really high doses of niacinamide, it does have to be prescribed. So I would follow the recommendations or whatever your doctor recommends, because you don't want to irritate the pancreas. It's a great organ, but we only have one of those. So we want it to be as healthy and happy as possible. But again, topical niacinamide works really, really well. And if it's a child, I would definitely ask their pediatrician, especially young children. I would ask their pediatrician or a pediatric dermatologist about topical niacinamide. That's the tip of the day. Let the universe love you so your skin can get better. Let it come in. All right, I'm going to head over to the phone lines. And thank you again, everyone, for taking time out of your day to leave me a voicemail. Voicemail message. I really, really appreciate it. It makes me extremely happy. Okay, here we go.
Hi, Marie. This is Kelsey Cloud from Alaska. A couple things have been kind of up for me lately. One is I feel like I've always known certain things, and but I don't really allow myself to embrace it fully and follow my intuition and live the way that I ultimately would love to live in this life. And maybe not using this in a career, but just in my everyday life, like how to embrace it, how to walk in it. I feel like there's a block. There's something kind of, I'm holding myself back, or scared of something, nervous of something, when I know
Hmm.
that I believe that it's something that I was meant to do here, in a way that I was meant to live here in this life. Um, Number two, like, so that's one thing that's going on. And the second is that I'm starting a new career. I've always worked with young children, and it's a lovely program, and I've loved working with these young children and being able to create what I wanted with them and for them. Um, and I'm stepping into something new. I feel very strongly that it's what's needed, and it's working with older children um, in a homeschool setting, like working with homeschoolers in my program. And I have two sons that I would really love to be there. My husband is very against this and having a lot of doubt. And because of that doubt, I feel like I'm also experiencing a lot of doubt. I'm very unsure about what this will look like. I don't know if there will be the support there. I don't know if it's something that people will want. And so I'm kind of struggling to hold this certainty that I started out with. And so, and dealing with my husband's doubt with it as well, where I feel like it would be really good for my children and really good for me, and trusting that. Um, anyway, if you can help me with this, I would really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome, Kelsey. So that fear, that's what's happening is you have fear about a lot of things. Remember, fear is an illusion. It doesn't really exist. It's part of the human condition. We've got a few conditions here on earth that humans yet don't realize they're a condition. They think they're real, but they're not. People are terrified of their magnificence. They're not really afraid of as much as their magnificence is health issues or divorce or poverty or whatever else humans, death, think that they're afraid of. But people are afraid of their magnificence. So nothing's holding you back per se. You're scared to allow your talents out. You're scared to be recognized for who you truly are. That's what you're afraid of. It's nothing bad that you're afraid of. You're afraid of the good. And that's common. I would work on using a what if question. What if I allow myself to be fully seen and recognized and to celebrate my magnificence, which means all your natural gifts and talents? I'm not saying that the school, yeah, I am saying the school thing is not it. By the way, I did not feel your energy change. When people have discovered their passion, that's what you're looking for. And you love children, you love to be creative. So you're like, oh, that's my passion. I don't think so. But if you want to do this school to help educate your children differently and to have a unique experience, I mean, you can do that if you certainly want to. But I do not think it's your passion. I do not think it's what you were meant to do when you came here. Now, it's not a bad thing. You could do it. There's a lot of things we do that are not always aligned with our passion, but they're not bad things. Like we're having all kinds of experiences all the time that can lead us to our passion even. So passion is not about other people. I'm going to say this again. Passion is not about other people. So it's not about children. It's not about your children. It's not about the educational system. Passion is a personal experience that someone has with themselves when they engage in something that is part of their magnificence in terms of work or whatnot. But it's a very unique thing. For example, and I have said this throughout my career, I don't know if I've said it often on this podcast, I do not do what I do because I help other people. It is not my driving force. Thank goodness it's a lovely, wonderful occurrence that occurs. I do this because I love the multisensory world. I love looking at energy. I love talking to dead people. I love that experience. That is my passion, to hear, see, and feel and communicate with the multisensory world. that lights my soul on fire. The fact that it helps other people is a common experience. When people are aligned in their passion, it will positively affect others or the world even. So that's what you've got to discover. You need to embrace your magnificence, even if you don't need to know what it is. Nobody, unless they've stumbled into it, knows what their magnificence is. You can tell when someone has found it. They will tell you. They will tell you. Because it's such a profound experience. You want everyone to have it. You want everyone to discover their magnificence. So what if I embrace my magnificence and I allow myself to fully embrace it and ultimately share it with the world? That's all the what if question I want you to do. I don't want you to think about it. I don't want you to analyze it. I don't want you to process it. What if questions are not meant to be utilized that way. Okay, I hope that answered all those questions that you had.
Hello, Marie. This is Carrie calling from Australia. Recently, my auntie has passed over, and just missing her and asking if there are any messages for me, and also how can I really want to start getting into tarot cards,
Great.
and I was wondering how I can start doing that, and any other messages you have for me. Thank you.
You're very welcome. I'm looking for your auntie right now. She's a force to be reckoned with, by the way. She's a force. So I'll be chatting with her in a little bit. So if you want to get into tarot, get into tarot. I wish my friend Alexa Robbins would come out of retirement and teach tarot cards and do tarot readings too. She's currently retired. I don't think that's a forever retirement. I don't think I told her that, but it's important for people to take sabbaticals and to rest and to enjoy their family or whatever they need to do. I think that's critically important. But if you could find a great tarot teacher, I think that would be fun for you. I like the Minnow Tarot. His name's Chris. Someone will put the link in the comment underneath, because people do whenever I mention his name. Chris, he's lovely. He's a really great tarot reader. He's on YouTube. It's called Minnow Tarot, Minnow Pond Tarot, I believe. You'll find it because he has thousands of people that follow him. Thousands, like probably 800,000, a lot. So take some classes, play with tarot cards, hang out with them, visit with them, talk to them, and embrace and, truly allow yourself to have a deep experience with tarot. If you're feeling called to do it, there's a good reason for it. I promise you. And maybe if Alexa Robbins is listening to this podcast, she'll consider teaching. I would take it for fun. I'm not a tarot reader for myself or others, although my kids and I play with it sometimes. I don't know why, but I have decks in my house because I think they're beautiful, and tarot is a really great way to get a reading. I think it's a powerful way to get a reading. It certainly is one of the ways that I became, what's the word I want to use? Validated in what was happening to me when I began to open up to my energy. I saw a tarot reader and she confirmed my suspicions. Okay, I hope that's helpful. Oh, Auntie, powerful force to be reckoned with. I mean, she's literally stomping on the other side. She may have been a little angry when she was on Earth. I mean, that's how I would interpret that. And I feel like she's trying to say, I feel like she's still resting. She's still figuring stuff out. Some people have to rest for a while, especially if their body went through a lot before they left their body. They go into healing chambers on the other side for months. If we were to measure time in human, man-made time, because time's not real, they'll stay in these beautiful healing chambers where healers from the other side lay hands, and they're put in these beautiful rooms and their bodies worked on, because when they don't have a body anymore, but their energy is worked on, because when you leave your body and you cross over, you take your energy to meet the rest of your energy that's already in the heavens. So you take the energy from your body, it crosses the astral plane and into the heavens, the fifth dimension. And then in order to fully function on the other side, your body may need some healing. Your energy, I should say, your energy body may need some healing. So there's healing chambers. I think she's in a healing chamber. I mean, I know she is. she's funny too. She stuck her tongue out at me. She went, I mean, she's an interesting force to be reckoned with. But I do know when she's feeling better, and the, sticking her tongue out and all of that was fun. I liked it. I like that part of her personality. I bet she'll help you with your tarot. She likes to have her hand in every pot. So, okay, Carrie, I hope that's helpful.
Hi, Marie. So my question is the following. By the way, my name is Luca, and currently I live in Athens, Greece. So 2 nights ago, I was watching one of your podcasts, and I was really asking myself, I would love to get in touch with the other side. And I watched your podcast at night before going to sleep, and I was already in bed. And then at 5 a.m., I woke up as usual with a huge pressure
Right.
on my chest.
Right.
And heart palpitations going very fast.
It's fine.
Which is unfortunately something that I had to deal with all my life. Basically wake up with a panic attack or terror. It's truly horrible, but I try to deal with it. And so as I was feeling this horrible feeling of tight chest and pressure in my heart, I was asking God, and I was saying, God, if this is what am I supposed, if this is how I'm supposed to live, I will accept it, but please help me if you can do anything about it. And I was totally alone in the apartment. And all of a sudden, I feel a hug, a beautiful hug filled with love and positive energy from behind me.
Yeah.
As if someone was spooning me, but there was no one there.
Right.
So I freaked out, I got scared because it felt so real.
It is. It was.
I allow myself to feel the pleasure
Yeah.
of feeling this incredible hug. And it was full of love.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden the pain was gone.
Yeah.
Or the chest pain, the anxiety, the terror was all gone. And so I had this mixed feeling of, well, I was scared because no one was there, but it felt real. But I just felt so much love from this hug that felt totally real. Now the question is, do you think I lost my mind? Or was it like a spirit giving me
Yes.
this hug? Is it possible to have a physical sensation from a spirit? Well, that's my question. Thank you so much for taking the time, and thank you so much for the beautiful work you do. I wish one day I'd be able to do a reading with you. And for now, I'm sending you lots of love. Thank you.
Thank you, Luca. And thank you for sharing so well your story and your question. I love Greece. I've been there 3 times. I was there last year, actually. And so I always land in Athens and spend a couple nights somewhere before I get on a ferry and go to Syros, because I've taught 3 times a week-long workshop in Syro, on the island of Syro. A really lovely place where I rent a villa or two. And people come over and they learn. But then I vacation afterwards. Like last year I went to Ireland, but the 2 other times I stayed in Greece, I went to Santorini the first year that I was there. And then the second year I went to Naxos, which is truly my favorite island because I love the Plonka. The beach on the Plonka is like, my favorite. I could just live there, seriously. Or Ireland. I love Ireland too. So you live in a gorgeous place of the world with beautiful people and delicious food. My hair is perfect when I'm in Greece, and I can eat everything and not gain an ounce. Not that I weigh myself very often, but I'm leaner. Even though I eat well here in the US, I'm much leaner in Greece. So beautiful place. So what you were not experiencing and have never experienced from my perspective, but your mind is trying to understand it. There's a difference between intuition, understanding what's happening in our bodies or the world, understanding anything really, and between what the mind says and how it understands things. So I don't think you've ever had a panic attack, waking up in the morning. I know it feels that way. I get it. I don't believe that you've had heart palpitations. What happens when we fall asleep at night, and you sleep well, from my opinion, you really go out, is your energy, because we only bring a portion of our energy to Earth. We don't bring all of our energy because we would go crazy, because within all of our energy is an enormous amount of consciousness, and Earth is a low conscious reality that offers phenomenal opportunities for growth and expansion and transformation. It's a fast track. It's like taking a quick PhD program. Earth is like that. So when we fall off to sleep, our energy leaves our body, goes off into the heavens where it's recharged, and then it comes back in. When we wake up, especially for someone like yourself who sleeps hard, from my perspective, you're feeling that landing. You're feeling the energy landing in your body. You feel it. And so you're sensing as you're waking up this landing, and you've interpreted it as a panic attack or heart palpitations. It just might feel weird to you. You might feel heaviness in your chest, but that's really your energy coming in, which means you're having consciousness of your energy in your body. That's it. That's cool. That's interesting. I wish people were not afraid of the movement of energy. Now, you asked the universe a question, and the universe answered it for you, basically validating that nothing terrible is happening to you, that you are loved, adored, and cherished, and the universe has your back, and everything's fine. So yes, obviously, you clearly can pick up on the clairsentient or physical aspects of our relationship to the multisensory world, or the divine, spirit guides, God, whatever anybody wants to call it. I use different words because different people think of it differently, but it really all means the same thing in my perception. So yeah, congratulations. And maybe you'll look at your awakening in the morning differently. I think some people have a harder time integrating. Like two of my daughters, I have three, and they're grown women. They're in their 30s, but they're my babies forever. Two of my daughters wake up slowly, a little grumpy, need some space, maybe coffee. I wake up, hi, I'm one of those people that likes maybe I can feel the landing, although I don't have a physical sensation about it, but I'm like, oh, I'm coming back to Earth. Oh, I had a wonderful time. Oh, I'm really rested. Even if I haven't slept very well, I wake up, yay. So maybe I somehow, because I love Earth, enjoy it, where sometimes people, Earth's not their favorite place. And that's really also a perception that needs to change, because wherever we are is our home. Temporarily, but for in terms of Earth, even the heavens, we don't stay there all the time. We're adventurous creatures. Souls are very curious. I hope that helped. And if you visit the Planka, please tell it hello from me. Okay, next person.
Hi, Marie. This is Bella calling from Canada. And I wanted to ask, I feel like I'm in a period of transformation in my life. Mostly inward. I've been feeling, kind of following things that make me feel happy. I've been having a lot more spiritual, kind of transformative experiences with my dad, who passed away 8 years ago. But I just feel like I'm at a point in my life that things are going to continue to shift, and I'm looking for a direction, I think. So I was wondering if you could give me some insight and maybe what direction or what I need to kind of go towards. Thank you for answering my question, and best for you.
Thank you, Bella. I'm sorry about your dad passing. I'm working on connecting with him right now. What I think will help take you to that next level that goes beyond the internal, although the internal has to happen first, really, is you just keep raising your vibration, keep getting happy, keep identifying the joy, hold the joy for long periods of time, figure out what makes you super happy and be in that frequency and that vibration. That speeds up transformation. That moves things along really, really, really fast. Your dad's an interesting character. Very complicated is how I would describe him. Of course, I never met him in human form. I think since your dad passed, and I know you loved him very much, at least I believe you did, he's had a life review. And some people don't like their life reviews. So old, especially really old soul types, they tend to not have as much, and this is true for all souls, all older souls, they tend to not have as much of a positive perception of who they are. They underestimate who they are. It's just one of the reasons why they come to Earth, so that they can go, oh, like sometimes I watch television, and my new kind of current, show that I like, because I don't want to watch a lot of violence, or I really like happy shows. But I've been watching, I wouldn't say it's super happy, but I think it's funny, is Judge Judy, because I'm shocked by how many people lie. I'm so shocked. Old souls are such terrible liars. So they don't even try, like if we try, everyone can tell when we're lying. We're just not good at it, and we don't understand lying clearly. So I'm not sure why I'm bringing that up. Oh, I'm bringing that up because there are a fair amount of people who think more highly of themselves than what they've accomplished, right? And the universe doesn't judge anyone. The universe loves and adores everyone the way they are. The universe is really incredibly precious and a genius and authentic in its approaches. So your dad was maybe one of those people who had a certain perception about who he was. And we all have a perception of who we are. And many of us are far away from the true concept. Most of the people who listen to this programming think far too negatively about who they are, and need to really up the ante about whom they are and how they're relating to themselves. Like this is critical in terms of evolution. Anyway, so, and your dad's a good person, I believe, or, was a good person on Earth. And I'm sure you just get better when you cross over anyway. But he didn't like his life review. He went, so he's in a little bit of a weird mood about it, like when you figure out you've been doing something maybe not the best way for a very long time, you could have done it differently, and you're kind of hard on yourself, or you're a little embarrassed. That's kind of what your dad is feeling, but don't worry about him. He's in the heavens, where there's tons of love and joy everywhere, and he's just working on himself. He just, I don't think that was his favorite thing, personally. That's what I think. I hope my answer was helpful. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. So, I was called by many forms of my name, but the formal one is Louisa. I was born and raised in Poland, but I have been living for a big chunk of my adulthood in Singapore. What a journey! From being a depressed child and a teenager to a fulfilled, happy human being, embarking on the journey to a deeper self-knowing, understanding, and self-loving. In the podcast, you mentioned that non-remembering is a good sign because it might indicate we are focused on the present moment. Yeah. My gosh, what a relief, and probably an excuse in my case. Because in conversation with my friends and family, it turns out like I don't remember many events from my life. Surprisingly, those fun too. But I remember that my night dreams were always important. I see how the archetypes from my dreams slowly change, evolve, and shift. From time to time in my dreams, I meet beautiful souls who made and still make a difference in my life, or I receive magnificent messages or gifts, like the most recent one where a piece of bread was given to me as a gift of hope. In the dreams from my early adulthood, I quite often needed to call for help, and I couldn't because I was emotionally paralyzed, or I had in my mouth something very sticky, unpleasant, and I couldn't get rid of it. The problem with my voice and throat occurs from time to time, what you evidently can hear now, and I suppose I know it has an emotional background.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on that, Marie? How can I help myself? And I smile when I think of my life journey and all those beautiful people and places I met. But now I just know it's time for another shift. I don't know yet which direction, but I know it is going to be big. I just feel it in my body. The time is coming. What are your thoughts on that, Marie? What do you read from my energy field? Thank you for making talks about spirituality so easy, practical, and fun. Lots of love, Louisa.
Hi, Louisa. So, we talked about a lot of things, so I'm trying to remember all of them. Dreams for most people are really about internal psychological healing. So, when people go to sleep and have especially vivid dreams and memories, they're doing like their internal psychological healing. It's like sitting with a therapist. It rarely means what a human mind would translate it to be. It has a lot to do with how you felt in the dream, not how you felt when you awoke. I like the bread and a message of hope. I think that's lovely. The stickiness that you described and the paralysis that you felt in your dream was a representation of your psychology in real life, where you felt frozen or unable to share your truth. Speaking one's truth, which is very unique. Imagine what my truth is when someone says, "What do you do for a living?" And I never lie, because I could fib a little. I could say I'm an author, which is true, but I've only produced 2 books. One is audio and one is written, and I produced those in 2012. So it's not a true reflection of my day-to-day writing for me. But I could say that, but it's not the truth. So when someone says, "What do you do for a living?" I say, "Oh, I'm a healer, I'm a psychic, I'm an intuitive," whatever I feel like saying that day, but it's going to be definitely drenched in truth. I don't care what people think about it. I've always been treated with incredible respect, honestly, throughout my entire career, really since I became a nurse. Just incredible respect. And I'm grateful because I know what I do is not yet quite ordinary, but it will be someday. Maybe not fully in my lifetime, but it will be. So speaking one's truth is really important, because what governs your throat and the mouth and teeth and gums, the tongue, the cervical vertebrae, the esophagus, muscles in your neck, the thyroid, energetically, because all chakras are first and foremost governed by the emotion that is supposed to be in that chakra. So the emotion that's supposed to be in the throat chakra is speaking one's truth. And obviously your body's been telling you for a while that you need to express your truth, which has nothing to do with your mind. It has to do with what you're feeling and not what your mind-made emotions are. Those are typically dramatic. Real emotions are calm, they're compassionate, and they are a little surprising. So I think a great what if question for you could be, what am I really feeling? This is a better one. What if I've discovered what I'm truly feeling? What if I'm now expressing what I'm really feeling? And remember, real feelings are calm. They are not dramatic. And when people are in the present moment, they don't remember things. All my girls have asked me and I know they're not girls, they're women, but I have their permission to use the G word girls when I talk about them. I've asked them. And, they've asked me over the years, "Do you remember this? What was it like when I was 3?" And I'm like, and I'll come up with something, of course, but it's, a lot kind of a blur, because I loved parenting. I know I'm still a parent, but we're friends now, more so friends. And I loved it. I was truly very present. I was also really busy, as most parents are. I mean, I made homemade Middle Eastern food almost every single night for 21 years. I do not make Middle Eastern food anymore. It's rare. Only when I'm missing a particular dish, but there happens to be an amazing restaurant not too far from here, so I'll just go there and get their delicious food. So when you're present, you're chopping food and you're making sauces and you're playing with kids. When you're present, you aren't going to remember things. And so my kids, who were like, why don't you remember that? Now they have children, and they're very busy and they're very present with their children, and they don't remember things. So they're obviously very present and having a lot of fun, and I'm excited for them. But people don't have to just have children to be present. Other things can really, absorb the present for us and allow us to have a really full moment that we don't necessarily have to remember. Okay, I hope that's all helpful.
My name is Susan, and I'm calling from Florida. And I've been on the path of spirituality a good part of my life. I have changed careers twice, and each time it has been what I love. And now I feel like I'm on the verge of maybe cracking another code or maybe a change. I do a lot of meditation. I'm very into, I wake up every night. I can't remember my dreams, but
That's okay.
I wake up between 3 and 5. And I feel like my guides are trying to communicate with me.
They are.
I am not quite sure. I feel like I'm on the right path, but I don't know why I have this urgency. I need to do something more.
To do something.
Just let me know if I'm on the right path, what more I need to do. I am, yes, very self-critical. I'm trying to work on the self-love.
Good.
I hear your message. It really helps. And fear is my biggest lesson that I need to overcome in this life. So I really appreciate your answer. And let me know if anything comes to your mind. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Susan. You need to get going, so meditating, all of that is lovely, but you're in a body and a physical body. So you need to go do something. Go create a manifesting group. Go join a group with other spiritualists. Go get active and busy. That's what I'm recommending. And ignore all the fear. It is not real. Ignore it, because that is a pattern that is holding you back significantly. So you have had all these great internal spiritual experiences and you love spirituality. So it's a part of your life, which is amazing, but you are meant to go and participate in it. Yeah. Go take a class, go make friends, make a manifesting group. I love manifesting groups. I think everyone should have one, truly, from people who will do the work and raise their vibration. That's also critical. Not just people who are going to just want to there and have some tea and, and relax and gossip. No, it has to, and I'm not speaking to you exactly, by the way, Susan, but just everyone in general. Pick people who actually are going to spend time manifesting, not just in the class or in the group that you make, but even when you're not in the group, because your energy is connected to one another, and then you're helping each other unconsciously to continue to shift and change and grow. A lot of growth can occur from a manifesting group. All right. Thank you.
Hi Marie, my name's Marion and I'm calling from Ireland. Today I just wondered if you can give me any information about my daughter. I feel like it's been a tough road with her. I know that she has her things going on and traumatized through things with her father, and she has an eating disorder, and I'm confused about how to have this relationship with her, and I feel like I keep going in and then I get hurt, and I just don't really know what to do. So I'm just wondering if you've got any advice, or if any of my spirit guides or anything has any advice. I know when all this started to sort of kick off with her, I heard the voice in my mind just saying let her go, and I knew that it resonated, and it made me break down in tears because I knew that's what I had to do. I have found that hard. I don't really know how to do that. I'm trying to pull back and know that she is a soul on her own journey as well. But as you know, being a mother and parent, it's very, very difficult to not worry. So yes, sorry, it's going on, but just if there's any information or insight that you can give to me on my daughter or my relationship, or how I can sort of move forward and be at more peace with it. I feel like there's a lot of things that had happened that I feel that I need to perceive in a different way as well.
Yes.
I'm trying to do the what ifs. To have better, just to be able to sort of forgive myself.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's a line of things that happened that brought maybe her to where she's at today. But anyway, sorry, if you can just give me anything on that, that'd be brilliant. Thank you very much, Marie. Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry things have been challenging with your daughter. So as you noticed as you were talking, and of course it makes complete sense, your energy was low. So there's this aspect of you being in victim consciousness. Your daughter's also in victim consciousness. I think when the universe said let her go, not necessarily that you don't have a relationship with her, which obviously you do, But just let go of the issue, let go of the problem. Stop seeing her that way. Stop thinking about her that way. Letting go is like letting go of the mental aspect of something. Like things happen in people's lives, but that is not who we are. And when our parents in particular hold on to an aspect of victimhood relating to their children or anything else, but we're talking about a child right now, it actually, I think, doesn't help the kid at all. So let go of your blame, whoever there is to blame. Don't think about it. When you think of your daughter, don't think about her eating disorder or the other things that you believe that led to that eating disorder. Obviously, because I feel she's a little older, hopefully she's doing the right things or seeing the right people. And if she's younger, of course, that's your job to help her with that. But you need to don't think about her that way. Only think about her in joy. Only think about her in love. Only think about her in happiness. That's going to send tons of positive energy to her that will eradicate the victim consciousness that you have about what occurred and will help her to begin to eradicate her own victim consciousness, which would be critical and highly important. And then I think a great what if question for you would be that, what if my daughter and I are embraced in joy? Or embraced in love. And when you do a what if question, you don't analyze it, you don't process it, you just want to just stay in the moment with it for like 3 to 5 minutes as you're repeating it in your head. Or when I walk Charles, I do a lot of what if questions. I pointed down because he's on the ground right now, sound asleep. He got groomed and he's just exhausted. Oh goodness. Okay. Everything's going to be okay. Seriously. But let's get out of the victim consciousness so that all that goodness can come quickly. Quickly. Get out of the victim consciousness, please. And only think about your daughter in positive light and happiness and love. And don't think about the past. Let her be something different in your mind so that she could be something different in her own mind. Okay. Thank you.
Hi, Marie. My name is Christine, and I am so happy to speak to you. I have a couple things I wanted to ask you about. I guess number one would be my health, since you being a nurse and being able to speak directly to internal organs is like amazing. But I've had recent diagnosis of Crohn's disease. It came kind of out of the blue for me. Having some issues with that and trying to deal with doctors, and they just want to give you a medication and move on, where I want to really get to a root cause or an internal healing altogether. I'm having some issues with my heart as well lately, palpitations and racing and skipping. And it is something I deal with on and off throughout the years. I have an irregular heartbeat, but it just seems it's very pronounced the past few days, and it's concerning. So I will be seeing a cardiologist for that. Not sure if you can give me any insight as to,
Yes.
Yes, Christine, you're low on certain supplements or minerals or vitamins, or maybe it's something simple that I can fix, or maybe it's my liver I need to work on. Or maybe there's something serious and I really do need to address it somehow in another way. I don't know, but that's one thing. And then spiritually, I would love to know if there's anything spiritually for me, meaning spirituality has been a part of my life and on my mind forever, since I've been a child. I've only had very few experiences. I'm a strong believer in God, and I have strong faith. But I wondered if there's like anything I should be working towards, or maybe any gifts I have. I did take some pranic healing classes. That was really cool, and I love it, but I don't really practice it, and I don't know what the block is there, but I don't feel like it's maybe my path. I'm considering taking some Reiki classes, which I would love to take with you. But so spiritually, if there's anything, and then I think that's it. I feel stagnant right now, stagnant in my life, stagnant in my career. Even though I love my job, I feel like it's not great for my health and mental well-being. But other than that, I feel like my health is probably the first thing I need to address.
Yes.
And if you have any insights for me, I am so very, very grateful. Have a great day.
Thank you, Christine. You as well. I'm sorry for your recent diagnosis, but usually Crohn's doesn't come I mean, if for the individual, it feels like, where did that come from? But it takes a while to build up symptoms and issues and problems to be diagnosed with Crohn's, which is, for those who don't know, it's an intestinal disease where there's an autoimmune aspect happening, and the immune system within the intestinal tract is kind of attacking itself. So I'm not a fan of modern medicine's way to deal with the immune system, which is to repress it. I'm not a fan. But of course, when we have certain acute things happening in our life, it could be helpful temporarily to do steroids if that's what your doctors want you to do. And maybe you were diagnosed very early in Crohn's, which would be fantastic. But I'm not a fan of a lot of the IV drugs that are recommended for diverticulitis or Crohn's, because they repress the immune system significantly. So this has been going on for a while. The third, even though you didn't know until recently, the third chakra governs the intestinal tract. So, and I think everybody now knows, who's listening, that the third chakra's emotional component is self-love. So when people get autoimmune disorders in general, but particularly with the intestinal tract, their soul really wants them to learn how to feel love for themselves, feel love for you. It's a feeling. I often, and I've talked about it, of course, when I'm loving something or someone else, I'm like, okay, how's my love for me? Can it compare? In this moment, can I jump in that energy and move some of that love to myself, for me, from me? Can I do that? And so I practice it often because it safeguards the immune system. I would go off dairy and gluten immediately. I would not get back on it. So those two foods tend to irritate the intestinal tract. I would find a naturopath. I don't know where you live. You sound like you have like a Minnesota accent, but I don't know where you live. And some states don't have as much access to naturopathic physicians. I would also find an acupuncturist because it's a great form of energy and it's very healing. And I have heard many reports from people who are not my clients, but I know them, who've had Crohn's or diverticulitis or other aspects of, a chronic condition in the intestines, and that acupuncture has helped them immensely. So please go off dairy immediately and wheat. That means no gluten. I was talking to a client recently and I was saying no gluten. And she was talking about this beautiful bread she would make every morning with lovely peanut butter. It had raisin bread in it. It was beautiful. And I said, yeah, you can't have that anymore. I go, you can have gluten-free raisin cinnamon bread with peanut butter in it. And then later she said, does that mean pasta too? Yes. All forms of gluten, wherever they are in food, is not good for the intestinal tract for the majority of the population. But when we look at people who have more of a chronic issue, absolutely no gluten, no dairy. And the palpitations, I think, are hormone related, which could also, like the Crohn's was probably an underlying thing that you didn't know was happening. Because again, it takes a while to break down the mucosal lining of the intestinal tract. It doesn't happen overnight. The intestinal tract can be anywhere between 25 and 30 feet. It's a long piece of internal organ, right? A long piece of the internal organ. So I would have your hormones checked by a naturopath, preferably, and consider taking compounded hormones only. I do not recommend taking modern medicine's hormones for anyone. They are unhealthy and they can lead to cancers. Estrogens or hormones, potentially, even if they're compounded, which are made from plants, mostly plant-based something. I don't completely understand it. I'm not a naturopath. If people have had a history of cancer, it's even recommended they don't do compounded hormones either. So if you don't have that history, which I don't believe you do, consider that, because when women are moving through menopause or even after menopause, our hormones are still declining. Heart palpitations are common when hormones change. And I believe that hormones are a natural anti-inflammatory. So Crohn's is an inflammatory condition. Your hormones drop, you start to notice where the inflammation is. I hope that's all helpful. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to do two more, guys, and then I have to do other things. like walk Charles.
Hi, Mary. I'm Fran from Florida. I have an issue with cleanness. I used to call it germophobia, but I don't believe in germ theory anymore since the past couple of years. I don't know where to draw the line with the cleanness anymore. I was brainwashed by my OCD mom since I was young and been trying to improve myself since then. My grandmother was like that too. I temporarily tried to get rid of it when traveling and have no other choice, but I keep coming back to my comfort zone. I hate others controlling me, but I'm controlling myself, which is affecting my digestion issue that I had most of my life. I can't even touch animals because of it. I only like them from far. I know the whole thing is not logical. I wish I could let it go off control and be more carefree. Thank you for your help, Mary. I appreciate it. Thanks. Bye.
You're very welcome, Fran. I'm sorry this has been so problematic for you. It's just holding you back from living an enriched life, because you have to check off the list to make sure everything's okay. And it's okay to want things clean. I'm sure the pandemic was not fun for you. I loved that everybody was wearing a mask, actually. In fact, when Dr. Fauci was saying, we don't need a mask in the beginning because they didn't know what it was. I'm like, I told my family, everybody wear a mask. It's probably airborne. Let's wear a mask, right? So I loved wearing masks, but I wore a mask a lot when I was in the hospital because when you work around oncology patients, their immune system is severely repressed. And so they can pick up lots of diseases. And what's interesting about the oncology floor is you have a whole bunch of different physicians in the floor, not just oncologists. Of course, now where I used to work, they use hospitalists. So those are people who work physicians who work just in the hospital for the hospitalized patients. But when I worked back in the day in the hospital, physicians would do their rounds early in the morning and after work sometimes, and see their patients in between. But we would have all kinds of doctors on the floor because we would need an infectious control doctor. We would need a pulmonologist because people would start to get diseases or issues because their immune system was so repressed. So here's what I want you to, that's why I love masks, I think, because I had to wear one a lot in the hospital to protect our patients. What if I'm safe? So this has to do with safety. The reason why you're doing this is you were taught, and you wanted to learn this. You wanted to learn to feel safe. And sometimes when we come to Earth, we experience the opposite so we can learn how to not have that in our life. It's kind of what happens. What if I'm safe? And do that when you feel like going to clean something that's already clean. Just sit down for a few moments and first be very loving to yourself. Self-love, internal dialogue. I love you. You're amazing. I'm proud of you. People have to practice this to get used to it. It can feel weird and foreign initially, and that's just because humanity has not stepped into this collectively in terms of consciously having loving conversations with oneself yet. That's why it feels weird. And then just tell yourself this what if question while you're sitting there, maybe tying a shoe, like distract yourself, tie a shoe, walk around the couch a few times. What if I'm safe? What if I'm safe? What if I'm safe? Because that's what we want is the vibration of safety to come into your body. Because what we know that killing all germs is also not healthy. It's not. One of my daughters is definitely more relaxed about germs. Well, maybe two of them. No one. Than the other two. And of course, her kids are super healthy because they've had a little bit more exposure. All of my grandkids are really healthy. Only one has had antibiotics since she was 6, the first time she had them. And that's normal, by the way, guys. That's normal. Just saying, that's normal. So that's my homework for you. This is about safety. And fear is an illusion. It's not real. Okay, last one. And then I'm going to go walk Charles, right?
Hi, Marie. So, I am a retired homeopath, excuse me, and nutritionist and hypnotherapist and that. And I had to stop because of my health. Now I've done a lot of work on myself. I studied to be a counselor as well. And I know the wheres and the what and whys, but I don't know how to fix it. So I've been trying to heal myself for a long time, and I'm quite ill at the moment, and I'm not sure why. I think maybe it's because I took on too much in this lifetime but didn't have enough energy. I'm not quite sure, and I feel I'm either going to pass over soon, that I'm in a decline, and that's okay.
Right.
But on the other hand, I feel I have so much to do.
Right.
In life. I've recently, during the lockdown, I turned to art, and I've just opened a company with doing luxury, very high quality placemats and coasters, and also art. And I don't know, I just have this feeling that I've an awful lot to do left in this life. By the way, I'll be 75 in October.
Yeah, nice.
But at the same time, with my health being the way it is, one thing after the other, quite serious things as well, some of them very debilitating. I just don't know why. And I would really, really appreciate some guidance from my higher self, from my guides. That'd be wonderful. By the way, I'm Irish and I presently live in Ireland.
Love your
I've
accent.
lived many years in Sweden, but I feel I'm done. So thank you very much. I would appreciate that.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry you're not feeling well. I'm sending you tons of energy. And when I look at your energy system, I'm mostly in your auric field, and the layers are kind of bleeding onto each other, which we don't want in the aura. The aura is supposed to be very organized, and each layer is supposed to stay in the boundary of its space. It's not supposed to leak into others or leak out of the aura. And yours is like a puzzle that the pieces aren't totally fitting. I mean, it looks beautiful. It's quite stunning because the colors are, so magically mixed. So I'm organizing your auric field as we're speaking. I think what happened, the why, which I wish humans would get out of the why, because if you stop wondering about the why, you let go, and then you find solutions, and you find, if you need to have a reason why, it comes to you. But why doesn't really matter. The universe does not like, I shouldn't say doesn't like, it just doesn't recognize the word why. How, what, where, when, or why are not words the universe recognizes, because all those are related to time, and they can't really give the solutions when people go, why is this happening to me? Because it's a big story. It's not just a little thing. It's like a big story. So I think that you have been in, especially when it comes to the earth and humanity, in victim consciousness. I think even a lot of the things that you studied was to save humanity or to fix people. I don't recommend that. I recommend, like when I was a nurse, I went to the hospital. I loved putting IVs in people. I loved taking out sutures. I had fun. It was fun for me. And believe me, those are the people you want to put in your IVs, the people who are having fun. So you've been in victim consciousness about Earth and about humanity and animals, and that has to stop immediately. It's kind of wrecked the foundation of your auric field. And so it's difficult for you to receive healing energies. So energy but let's just say it significantly comes through the auric field, which surrounds you. This beautiful, it's supposed to be huge, 3 city blocks in every direction, real estate of energy that's meant to be filled with subatomic particles. So when you've been leaking energy from different layers, like they're going in all these different layers, and there's like this internal kind of chaos, it's very difficult to take energy in, and it's difficult to expand. But it's from the victim consciousness. Could you love the world the way it is? Could you love your body the way it is? Because that's the opposite of victim consciousness. And we all have aspects of victim consciousness. Everyone has a couple. Some people have more than others. So love the way everything is. And if this is what the universe said to me, that if for some reason you do pass, which I don't think so right now. I don't think so. You'll have plenty to do on the other side. So I'm not sure what the urgency comes from, except for you've been trying to figure this out for a long time, and letting go, especially when we're trying to figure something out for a long time and we're not finding solutions. That means we have to stop trying to figure it out. We have to let go. That means don't think about it. Don't talk about it. Doesn't mean you won't take different action, right? But you don't talk about it anymore because you're just attracting more negative energy, which is holding you in that victim consciousness, which in your case isn't allowing your aura to fill up with vital life force energy to feed your chakras and your physical form. I hope that's helpful. And thank you for calling. I hope you feel better. I'm sure we all are sending you beautiful, bright light right now. Thank you, everybody, for listening. I wish you many, many, many joyful blessings. Bye-bye.